Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities in the final year of your presidency. What is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. You know, one of the things that and
Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. And they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, you know, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading his briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House, being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
That's worth the invitation to come to the show.
Some of the reporting is that people like the former president you served under, Barack Obama, George Clooney, a longtime supporter of yours, major Democratic donor, Chuck Schumer, your dear friend Nancy Pelosi, also had expressed concerns about your ability to do the job for 4 more years. Can I ask what your relationship is with President Obama and how you address those concerns that they raised?
The only reason I got out of the race was because I didn't want to have a divided Democratic Party. It was a simple proposition. And so that's why I got out of the race. You know, we still, let me put it this way, I had 6 more months. I did a pretty good job in 6 months. Yeah, that's right. As a Senate president. I was doing the G20 in Brazil in November. I was meeting with Xi. There's nothing that changed in terms of my work ethic. I get it. I understand the concern. I really do. But the point of the matter is that I would offer specific evidence, if we had time, exactly what I got done when I was supposedly lost my cognitive capability. And secondly, what we did after we got out of the race. I said when I got out of the race, I was still going to be president. Yeah. I think I did a pretty damn good job the last 6 months.
So, you know what freaked everybody out was that debate.
Yep.
It wasn't a great night. It was a bad night.
Terrible night.
And everybody lost their mind.
Yep.
Because, of course, no one has ever had a bad night when they were. Right. Nobody tries to have a bad night. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. So this is what started both sides with this, he can't do this, this needs to stop. Why do you think that caught fire? Why do you think people bought into it, especially the Democrats?
First of all, we still were winning primaries. We were still doing everything. The Democratic Party at large didn't buy into it, but the Democratic leadership and some of the very significant contributors did, even though we raised enormous. Like when I left the race, Kamala had hundreds of millions of dollars. She had the best organized campaign. Every state was organized, et cetera. But, you know, what happens is that it took on a life of its own. And I had I'm going to say something outrageous. I've not lost many debates in my life. I've been pretty good at doing that. I was sick. I was no excuse, but I was not.
It's an explanation.
I had a bad night.
You know, Joe came on. I went onto the stage after the debate. We all saw it. It was terrible. So Joe looked at me and he said, I'll use screwed up. He said, he didn't say that. And I said, yeah.
We all know Joe Biden. We know what he said.
And I said, yeah, you did, Joe. But we have hundreds of people waiting for us. Put your shoulders back. Walk out there. You know, be who you are. And we were not going to let 90 minutes of a debate define his presidency and all those years of service.
It's been reported that you created a sort of cocoon around him and kind of limited his interactions with the media and others. Do you think you could have been too close to the situation to objectively gauge whether he could handle a full 4 more years?
I was with Joe day and night. I saw him more than any other person. I woke up with him. I went to bed at night with him. So I saw him all throughout the day, and I did not create a cocoon around him. I mean, you saw him in the Oval Office. You saw him making speeches. He wasn't hiding somewhere. I didn't have him, sequestered in some place. I mean, that's
Wish he had.
We know, we see what happened. Sometimes you kick it up and you stand up. The greatest thing is that you then, the next day, went to the G4. You went all these other places. What, am I incorrect?
G20. But you said G4. I think that's a jet. Okay. Could have been on one.
What difference?
I know it's a G. My point is that you were amongst all those people.
Yeah.
And somebody would have said, he's a little... But the only people that were saying it, as I'm understanding it, is people who peripherally are standing out here. And so we got what we got.